With his timeless hits and distinctive charisma, George Strait, the king of country, has entertained millions for decades. However, a personal tale has just taken a tragic turn behind the stage lights and packed venues. His wife, Norma, who has been his constant companion through all the highs and lows of life, has recently received a devastating diagnosis that has wholly upended their family. Fans are left wondering if this is the end of an era for the iconic singer, as George muses about the future. Come along as we explore George Strait's emotional journey, his steadfast love for Norma, and the implications for his remarkable career. George Strait's humble beginnings. On May 18, 1952, George Harvey Strait was born in Poteet, Texas, a small town well known for its strawberry plantations. George grew up mostly on his father's 2,000-acre cattle ranch in the adjacent village of Pearsall. George, his older brother, and his sister were reared by their father, John Byron Strait, a rancher and math teacher, following their parents' divorce while he was in the 4th grade. Despite the hardships of ranch life, George was taught to work hard. At a young age, he developed a love for music, frequently tuning in to the radio and losing himself in the sounds of country music icons like George Jones, Hank Williams, and Merle Haggard. Interestingly, Strait joined a rock and roll band in high school before realizing that country music was his calling. His ascent from ranch child to king of country music is evidence of his lowly beginnings and unwavering devotion to his craft. Discovering a passion for music. George Strait's tenure in the United States Army officially started his musical career when he was assigned to Hawaii's Schofield Barracks. George joined the Rambling Country Bass Band while serving, performing cover songs that mirrored the classic country style he cherished. His family's ranching history influenced his decision to pursue a degree in agriculture at Southwest Texas State University following his military duty. At the same time, he started playing at local dance halls and honky-tonks with his band, Ace and the Hole. The trio developed a devoted fan base by fusing George's heartfelt, soft voice with Texas country elements. Several Nashville record labels turned George down, but he didn't let that stop him. Fun fact, a record executive who said his style would never work notoriously rejected his demo tape. George's resolve to demonstrate that classic country music might flourish in the present day was only strengthened by that rejection. The breakthrough moment. In 1981, George Strait's first song, Unwound, marked the beginning of his ascent to prominence. Dean Dillon and Frank Dykes wrote the music, which quickly gained popularity and peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. It was a significant event that signaled his entry onto the national scene. His first album, Strait Country, combined poignant songs with honky-tonk rhythms and was similarly revolutionary. The CD brought the traditional foundations of country music back to a new audience at a period when the genre was significantly influenced by pop. It's worth noting that George was only signed to MCA Records after being blown away by a live performance by one of their regional representatives. The commercial and critical success of Strait Country shaped his future career. In addition to winning over country music lovers with Unwound, George solidified his position as an unwavering defender of the genre's rich traditions. Marriage to Norma and their enduring bond. George Strait and Norma Voss became romantically involved in their hometown of Pearsall, Texas. Before rekindling their romance, the pair drifted apart after a brief high school romance. George and Norma, who were only 19 then, eloped to Mexico in December 1971 to get married. Their relationship and love have endured over the years, becoming stronger with each new obstacle. Norma has been George's rock through his demanding traveling schedules, the death of his daughter, and his quick ascent to prominence. Behind the scenes, their family has largely remained grounded thanks to Norma's quiet strength. George frequently cites Norma as the main reason for his success. A fascinating fact, George stated in an interview that Norma was the one who urged him to try their relationship again after their brief breakup as teenagers, a choice that eternally altered their lives. The tragic loss of their daughter, Jennifer. The death of their 13-year-old daughter, Jennifer, in a car accident in San Marcos, Texas in 1986 was a terrible loss for George and Norma Strait. The The couple's eldest child, Jennifer, was lively, full of life, and adored by her family. Her premature passing permanently altered the Straits and significantly impacted George's outlook on life and work. The couple established the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation, a nonprofit that assists children's charities around Texas in response to the tragedy. George decided to grieve in solitude, avoiding the spotlight and doing few interviews for several years. George found solace in his music despite the excruciating pain. Curiously, admirers frequently observed that his later songs were more reflective and sad, expressing the depth of his grief. The foundation is still operating today, serving as a memorial to Jennifer. George Strait's record-breaking career. George Strait is an absolute music industry behemoth, having sold over 100 million records worldwide. He is known as the King of Country due to his unrivaled record of 60 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. His iconic albums, such as Oceanfront Property, Pure Country, and Carrying Your Love with Me, demonstrate his ability to combine upbeat songs with heartfelt ballads skillfully. Fun fact, Oceanfront Property was the first album in country music history to debut at the top of the Billboard charts. George has received numerous Grammy, CMA, and ACM awards, including the coveted Artist of the Decade title in the 2000s. Generation after generation has favored him because of his consistency in both quality and style. George's career is about a corpus of music that has become the soundtrack to millions of lives, not just about the numbers. Foray into acting with Pure Country. George Strait made his acting debut in the Christopher Cain-directed movie Pure Country in 1992. Wyatt "Dusty" Chandler, a country artist who is having trouble reestablishing his connection to his musical heritage, was portrayed by George. Although reviews for George's acting debut were negative, the film's soundtrack sold over 6 million copies and became a smash. Fans still love songs like Heartland and I Cross My Heart. George was initially apprehensive about playing the lead role and only consented because he thought the film's message of remaining true to oneself was important. Even though he never went on to pursue acting, his followers consider Pure Country to be a cult masterpiece. By presenting George to viewers who might not have been aware of his music, the movie also allowed him to reach a wider audience. His reputation as a multi-talented musician was further cemented by his genuine portrayal and the soundtrack's popularity. Struggles and controversies. Even though he is one of the most well-known names in country music, George Strait has encountered difficulties and criticism throughout his career. Following the untimely death of his daughter Jennifer in 1986, George decided to cut back on public appearances and interviews drastically. Because of his withdrawal from the public eye, various people conjectured about his reasons, and critics sometimes characterized him as aloof or unapproachable. But his followers and those close to him recognized it as a personal decision to put solitude and family before publicity. Interestingly, this choice further strengthened George's aura of mystery and his standing as an honest and grounded artist. Throughout his career, his unwavering commitment to classic country music was another source of conflict. George stuck to the genre's origins, even as it changed with pop elements, a choice that occasionally put him at war with market trends. However, his tenacity in remaining loyal to his art has cemented his status as a timeless artist. FatherSon Bond with Bubba Strait. George Strait and his son, George Bubba Strait Jr., share a close personal and professional relationship. Born in 1981, Bubba effortlessly incorporates his father's passions for music and ranching into his own life. Some of George's most well-known later successes, such as Living for the Night, Here for a Good Time, and Arkansas Dave, were written by Bubba. Fans have grown to love the unique father-son chemistry their collaboration on these songs highlights. George's ageless voice is complemented by Bubba's talent for storytelling and poetic lyrics, resulting in modern and deeply ingrained music. In addition to their shared love of music, the two are avid ranchers who frequently collaborate on their Texas holdings. Fun fact, besides being a skilled roper, Bubba competes in team roping events, a hobby that honors their common cowboy ancestry. Their relationship best illustrates the strong family ties that characterize George Strait's life and profession. George Strait's retirement and farewell tour. George Strait shocked the music world in 2012 by declaring he was retiring from touring extensively. The news was released with the announcement of the Cowboy Rides Away Tour, a 2-year farewell tour that turned into a celebration of his illustrious career. The tour, which included 47 performances, ended in June 2014 with a record-breaking farewell event at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. With more than 104,000 attendees, the event became the most significant indoor concert in North American history. The event, which included cameos by fellow country music artists like Miranda Lambert, Alan Jackson, and Kenny Chesney, served as a heartfelt farewell and evidence of his ongoing impact. Interestingly, George clarified that he was not completely giving up on music despite stepping away from extensive tours. He told supporters he would write new songs and perform a few performances. The success of the tour not only confirmed his unmatched appeal, but showed that he could establish a strong bond with audiences even when saying goodbye. Life after touring. Focus on ranching. George Strait, passionate about ranching since he was a little boy, turned most of his time to it after he retired from full-scale touring. His love of the cowboy lifestyle, complete with cattle, horses, and vast landscapes, is reflected in his properties in Texas. George has frequently stated that ranching gives him a sense of calm and normalcy in sharp contrast to the high-pressure demands of the music business. From maintaining animals to supervising conservation initiatives on his property, he is actively involved in the daily operations. Fun fact, George is respected by other ranchers because of his decades-long ranching knowledge, which is more than a pastime. He has combined his love of horses with competition by hosting team roping competitions on his ranch. For George, ranch life is more than a job. It's a means of maintaining his sense of self and ties to his heritage. George Strait's legacy in country music. George Strait has made incomparable contributions to country music. He reimagined the sound of old country music with simplicity and sincerity, and is widely recognized for reviving it when pop country crossovers were the norm. George has put out the most platinum or multi-platinum albums in country music, with 33 releases, and has had a career spanning more than 40 years. He is a favorite among younger audiences and traditional country fans because of his ability to use songs to create stories that appeal to all age groups. The Strait effect, in which several musicians, such as Brad Paisley, Chris Stapleton, and Jason Aldean, have credited him with significantly impacting their careers, is an interesting part of his legacy. George's influence extends beyond his #1 singles. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2006 for his efforts to preserve the essence of country music. As the king of country, he continues to impact the genre, guaranteeing that his music and principles will always be relevant. The Strait to Vegas Residency. George Strait resumed playing in 2016 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas as part of his Strait to Vegas engagement. Fans enjoyed his music in a more personal setting during this much-awaited performance series. The set lists for each performance were thoughtfully chosen, combining more recent songs with classics like Mornings and Troubadour's Amarillo. With events consistently selling out and attracting audiences worldwide, the residency proved an enormous success. Fun fact, George frequently surprises his audience by incorporating obscure songs and deep cuts into his shows, demonstrating the variety of his career. The Vegas residency provided the ideal balance to George's previous career's intensive touring, enabling him to interact with fans while leading a more leisurely lifestyle. The residency's success confirmed his continued popularity and showed that George Strait remains one of country music's most captivating live performers, even in a more condensed format. Awards and recognition. An impressive array of honors and recognitions marks George Strait's career. With 23 CMA awards, he is the artist with the most victories, evidence of his steady success and industry impact. His reputation as a worldwide icon is further cemented by the Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, and Academy of Country Music Awards included in his trophy cabinet. In recognition of his 10-year work, George was honored as the ACM Artist of the Decade 2013. Fun fact, George is among the select few artists who have received the President of the United States National Medal of Arts recognition for his cultural contributions. His influence transcends statistics. Each honor reflects the regard and appreciation he has received from fans, critics, and peers. George has always remained loyal to his roots as an artist, and his acknowledgments highlights his significant impact on the music industry. George Strait's role as a philanthropist. George Strait's charitable contributions are just as remarkable as his musical achievements. One of the main pillars of his humanitarian endeavors has been the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation, established in memory of his late daughter, and supports numerous children's groups around Texas. As a tribute to his military service, George is actively involved in veteran-related initiatives outside the organization. He hosts the annual Vaqueros del Mar Invitational Golf Tournament with his old buddy Tom Cusick, which raises millions of dollars for injured service people and their families. Fun fact, the event also included a roping competition that kept with George's passion for sports and volunteer work. George has also participated in disaster relief activities, such as helping those affected by Hurricane Harvey in 2017. In addition to being a renowned artist, he is also a symbol of kindness and charity because of his philanthropy, which displays a deep-seated commitment to giving back. A family-oriented life. George Strait's life has always been centered on his family. Despite his enormous celebrity, he has maintained a grounded personal life, ensuring his loved ones always come first. Many people consider George and Norma's marriage one of the longest-lasting partnerships in the entertainment business. Their family, which consists of their son Bubba and 2 grandchildren, has a solid foundation because of their dedication to one another. Fun fact, George has stated that being a grandfather has been one of the most rewarding experiences of his life and that he enjoys spending time with his grandchildren. His humanitarian endeavors, especially the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation, which he founded in honor of his daughter, reflect his emphasis on family. His commitment to his family improves his reputation and exemplifies the qualities that make him who he is: love, loyalty, and humility. George Strait's signature style. George Strait's trademark outfit is as iconic as his music, which includes his belt buckle, boots, starch Wrangler pants, and cowboy hat. His strong ties to the ranching way of life are reflected in this traditional Texas cowboy look, which has become an essential component of his identity. George embodies the ideals of the industrious cowboy and is genuine on stage and his ranch. An intriguing fact is that George's fashion sense has made him famous outside of the music industry. In fact, Wrangler has named a line of pants after him. Fans are drawn to his steady image because they respect his ability to remain loyal to his roots in a field frequently influenced by shifting trends. For George, this reflects who he is, a man committed to upholding tradition and goes beyond looks. Like his music, his style never goes out of style, making him a genuine cultural legend. Challenges in maintaining privacy. Few celebrities can reconcile public recognition and personal privacy, as George Strait has done during his distinguished career. But there have been difficulties along the way. Public attention has frequently been focused on Norma's recent health issues and the death of his daughter, Jennifer. George has always put his family's welfare ahead of his media commitments, avoiding public appearances and interviews to protect their privacy. Fun fact, Strait famously quit doing interviews in the late 1980s, which increased his mystique and captivated fans and the media. George has repeatedly stated that his music, not his personal life, should be the main focus of his career, despite the appeal of his private life. By making this choice, he has kept command of his story while still producing music that people find incredibly moving. George Strait's influence on future artists. Beyond just his record-breaking career, George Strait has had a significant influence on the country music industry. Numerous musicians have been influenced by his commitment to classic country sounds and ability to write moving lyrics. George has frequently been mentioned as a significant inspiration by legends such as Garth Brooks, who attribute their success to him. Even contemporary performers like Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton recognize his contributions to the genre's development. Fun fact, opening for George Strait is a dream come true for many young musicians who view it as a chance to launch their careers. In addition to his music, George has established a benchmark for young musicians with his professionalism and humility. His career offers a model for keeping loyal to one's roots while achieving longevity. The King of Country continues to be a guiding influence, ensuring that classic country music survives in a constantly shifting musical environment. George Strait's longtime collaborators. In addition to his vocal prowess, George Strait's success stems from his ability to work with some of the top producers and songwriters in the business. In particular, his collaboration with Dean Dillon is noteworthy. Many of George's most well-known songs, such as The Chair, Marina Del Rey, and Oceanfront Property, were written by Dillon or co-written by him. Fun fact, Dillon was elected into the Country Music Hall of Fame because of their well-known creative synergy, partly because he collaborated with George. Producer Tony Brown, another notable partner, collaborated with George on several highly regarded recordings. Through these collaborations, George has continuously produced high-caliber music that appeals to audiences. One of the main reasons for George's long-term success is his belief in the value of teamwork, which is demonstrated by the collaborative atmosphere he cultivates. Maintaining humility amidst fame. George Strait is still one of the most modest musicians in the business, even after attaining unmatched success in the country music genre. He frequently minimizes his contribution to his success and places the blame for his accomplishments on his supporters, relatives, and partners. In contrast to many superstars, George leads a modest life focused on family and ranching, eschewing ostentatious displays of riches or celebrity. Fun fact, George has gained a great deal of appreciation for personally signing autographs and thanking people who come to his performances. His work ethic also demonstrates his humility. He has frequently said that he sees himself not as a superstar, but as a rancher who sings. Despite his dominance in country music, he is likable because of his grounded outlook on life. Fame is not George Strait's ultimate ambition. Instead, it is a result of his love for music. George Strait's role as a mentor. George Strait has accepted the mentor position throughout his career, offering advice to up-and-coming musicians and imparting the knowledge he has accumulated from working in the music business for decades. George, well known for his kind manner, has urged young musicians to value authenticity and be loyal to their roots. An intriguing fact is that Strait's influence has directly impacted the careers of musicians like Miranda Lambert and Cody Johnson, who have frequently discussed how his guidance and encouragement enabled them to succeed in the music business. In addition to encouraging others, George has occasionally asked up-and-coming artists to share the stage with him, giving them priceless publicity. His dedication to upholding the integrity of country music and making sure it survives is demonstrated by his mentoring. In addition to being his duty, George sees helping the next generation thrive as a means of giving back to the profession that has given him so much. Retirement projects and new ventures. George Strait hasn't let retirement slow him down. He has branched out into business with his Código 1530 tequila line, showing his love for premium handcrafted spirits, Las Vegas residency, and occasional appearances. Fun fact, George was actively involved in all stages of Código's development, ensuring it reflected his preferences while remaining loyal to its origins. George has delved deeper into philanthropy outside of business, organizing charitable events and supporting various organizations. Through these endeavors, he may continue interacting with his community and followers while exploring interests outside of music. George's retirement ventures demonstrate his adaptability and spirit of entrepreneurship, demonstrating that he still leaves a lasting impression off the stage. Enduring popularity with fans. George Strait is still as popular as ever despite working in the music business for decades. His music appeals to new and devoted fans, and his shows sell out frequently in a matter of minutes. An intriguing fact is that George's final performance at his farewell tour, The Cowboy Rides Away, drew over 104,000 spectators, breaking attendance records. His ability to sustain this degree of devotion is a testament to the enduring appeal of his songs and his sincere relationship with his listeners. In contrast to many other musicians, George has built an honest and respectful relationship with his followers. He has established a legacy that surpasses fads, guaranteeing his permanent position in the hearts of millions, whether via poignant songs or intimate encounters. George Strait's commitment to tradition. In a music market that is changing quickly, George Strait has remained a staunch supporter of classic country music. He has chosen to respect the genre's origins rather than give in to the allure of mainstream crossover trends. Fun fact, among a sea of pop-influenced songs, George's 1981 debut album, Straight Country, was regarded as a turning moment in country music, bringing it back to its historic sound. Preserving the spirit of country music isn't simply a professional decision for George. It's a personal mission to keep the genre genuine for the coming generations. His devotion to heritage has won him the respect of both fans and peers, confirming his status as the King of Country. The future of George Strait's legacy. George Strait's impact on country music keeps expanding, even as he withdraws from the limelight. His timeless tunes are still a mainstay on country radio, and new musicians can take inspiration from his approach to music. Fun fact, George has the most #1 hits in country music history, demonstrating his unmatched influence. His impact goes beyond the stage because of his commercial and charitable endeavors and music. George is the epitome of sincerity, skill, and commitment for both admirers and aspiring artists. His efforts have influenced the genre's history and will indeed affect its direction going forward. Reflections on a remarkable life. The life story of George Strait is one of perseverance, commitment, and remaining loyal to oneself. George has handled both victories and setbacks with poise and tenacity, from his modest upbringing in rural Texas to his ascent to fame on a worldwide scale. An encouraging element is that, despite his notoriety, George has never forgotten his origins and frequently thanks his family, supporters, and partners. His life proves the value of perseverance and sincerity, traits that have won him millions of admirers. George's tale inspires and provides hope as he faces new personal obstacles. It serves as a reminder that an extraordinary life may be had even amid hardship if one remains grounded and loyal to one's principles.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon